New Delhi goes into lockdown tonight as India reels from a devastating second wave of COVID-19. More than 273,000 new cases have been reported in just the past 24 hours. At the same time, Prime Minister Modi is facing criticism for continuing to hold large election rallies.
Thousands of people continue to attend mass election rallies in West Bengal as it heads to the polls. The headline act, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Mr. Modi and his BJP have come under fire for allowing these gatherings to take place, even as India's healthcare system crumbles under the weight of soaring new COVID-19 infections. The party insists it enforces social distancing rules at rallies, but masks are few and far between. For 5 consecutive days, India has added more than 200,000 new cases of COVID-19. Hospitals are running low on beds, oxygen, vaccines, and critical medicine. Many have taken to social media to crowdsource for ventilators and ICU beds. New Delhi, a city of more than 20 million people, has fewer than 100 critical care beds left.
जो कोरोना के लिए बेड रिजर्व हैं, वो बेड काफ़ी तेज़ी से ख़त्म होते जा रहे हैं। पेशेंट्स बहुत तेज़ी से मरीज़ जो हैं वो अस्पतालों में जा रहे हैं। आईसीयू बेड्स की खासकर काफ़ी कमी हो गई है। लगभग सारे दिल्ली के आईसीयू बेड्स मिला के 100 से भी कम आईसीयू बेड्स पूरे दिल्ली में बचे हैं।
Experts blame complacency for India's second wave of coronavirus infections. Just 2 months ago, daily cases were well below 10,000.
Neha Punya joins us for more. Neha, why is Mr. Modi pressing ahead with these rallies despite the very clear risks?
Well, Steve, that's been the sharpest criticism that's been levelled against Prime Minister Modi and his party, the BJP, that they're not leading by example. Just a few weeks ago, you had Prime Minister Modi address the nation, and he had said then that carelessness on the part of citizens was why cases were rising, saying people weren't wearing their masks properly and were not maintaining safe distancing in public places. And many critics, especially from opposition parties, are asking why Prime Minister Modi isn't walking the talk. In the last 24 hours, you've had 2 main opposition leaders in West Bengal suspend or curtail their rallies. Rahul Gandhi of the Congress party has suspended all his rallies. Mamata Banerjee, who is the leader of the Trinamool Congress party, currently in power in West Bengal, has similarly curtailed her rallies, saying she will not address rallies for longer than 30 minutes and will not enter the city of Kolkata, which is the capital of West Bengal. And she's directly blamed the surge in cases in West Bengal on Prime Minister Modi and the BJP. They've continued to hold rallies today as well. There are several rallies that Prime Minister Modi is expected to address later this week. The BJP deflecting criticism by saying that they are prioritizing social distancing and are handing out masks and sanitizers, but refusing to say why they've not been able to call off these campaign rallies entirely, with many critics now saying that the BJP is clearly prioritizing elections over a national health emergency.
And Neha, is the Delhi government convinced that a 6-day lockdown will be enough?
They're certainly hoping that it will be enough, Steve, because Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been resolutely against imposing a full lockdown for weeks now, even when cases first started rising and this strain on healthcare infrastructure was first felt. He said that shutting down the city was not an option, which is why they started off with a weekend lockdown this weekend, as well as a night curfew. But the government now says the strain is so immense that the city's medical infrastructure is at a breaking point, saying that there are just about 100 critical beds available right now, and hospitals are just simply no longer able to accept patients and administer oxygen, the demand for which has skyrocketed in the national capital, which is why the government says they're imposing what they're hoping will remain a short lockdown for 6 days, hoping that they will not have to extend it. They're saying they'll utilize this period to ramp up critical infrastructure. They'll add more beds. They'll source more oxygen with the help of the central government. But they're also not ruling out an extension, given how massive the outbreak in Delhi seems to be. 1 in 3 people in the national capital now testing positive for COVID-19, according to the latest figures.
Neha Punya in New Delhi, thank you.